my stream. I know Hyper's recording, but want to have a backup. So want to welcome you all to the 2022 K7 Season 4 Town Hall. As you can see here on the screen. You guys can still see that, right? Can somebody just verify?
Yeah, that's a lot better.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
I'm on my phone. I'm
Oh,
on an iPhone right now, so I'm like right in my face.
awesome.
But we go, we're chilling.
So we want to make sure that's what you're seeing. If anybody sees anybody else join, just let them know that to mute their mic because I'm probably not paying attention to the Discord. But anyway, get this out underway. This is our 2022 League Operations Guide. This PowerPoint is very short. It's more of like pointers for me to talk about. Essentially, obviously, that's what a PowerPoint is anyway. And also, I'll go more in depth with some things after the presentation. We have a channel called Town Hall Questions, so every team should be able to have access to it at this point. And you guys can ask questions, whether it's now, whether it's after the Town Hall. I'll leave it up until pretty much the start of the season. So our season kickoff date is going to be Monday the 24th. That's on January, by the way. We will be starting the season then. So pretty much want to welcome you guys for those teams that are returning, new teams. We would like to welcome you to the league. Pretty much the purpose of these town halls, and we do it every season, is to show you how the league operates and how Season 4 is going to work. This meeting is recorded for the people that didn't want to come. I guess they didn't want to have to listen to a book or an ebook, right? Which is me. They're going to have to watch this video, which if you're watching this video by the time the recording is out, it's going to go over everything for you. Or you have to read the rule book. So it's your responsibility as the organization that's playing in this league to either, one, understand the rule sets, obviously. Two is either be here or watch the recording or read the rule book. That's exactly what I just said. So you understand how the league functions. I know there's a lot of leagues out there that work a little differently, that are similar. Each league has its own little fiasco kind of ordeal where we want to ensure that our competitive integrity is secured through our branding. And we want to make sure that, we offer you guys the best platform possible that we can, obviously within our budget and within our manpower and within our strength to do anything. So with that being said, continuing to the next slide, before I go to the next slide, again, the season will start on January 24th. That is a Monday. I will break down how the games and everything start when we look at the schedule. So really quick, so there are two leagues actually for K7, okay? So we have our league division, which is our amateur league, a total of 16 teams. It's divided into two different divisions, one named Alpha, one named Bravo. Each team plays each seed within each division. You pretty much play each team twice during the course of the regular season. Each team will also have the opportunity to have a stream showcase. So we are streaming probably about 32 to 36 matches from week 1 all the way to the championship match. Okay, like I said, it's 8 weeks of seasonal play. There is an extra week, which is the 9th week, and that's the playoffs. So it's reserved for the teams that go to the postseason. So really quick, each team has the ability to reach the playoffs depending on their win and loss record in tie-breaking scenarios. At the end of the season, the bottom 4 teams will be relegated to the qualifiers. So as of right now, the way this is going to work is, I'm going to dumb it down even more. As you guys know, there's 8 divisions and there's 8 teams in each division. You guys will play each other twice throughout your matches and your brackets, which I'll show you an example. These are pre-scheduled matches, so I will be giving you the schedule in the handbook so you guys can see it and you can plan ahead. And we're going to work together to make sure that everything works out. The reason why they're pre-scheduled is because our game day staff revolves around supporting the league, and we're making sure that their schedule works for you. So unfortunately, it's a little different in other leagues where we schedule your matches for you because they need to be done by a certain time. I don't want to have to sit there and wait till 1 o'clock in the morning for you guys to play a match. That's not what I'm here for, and I'm absolutely not going to do that. I'm sorry for those that like it that way, but that's just not how we work here. And we've been doing it ever since the start of K7. It's always been pre-scheduled. And that's just how it works. So you guys play, and essentially right before the playoffs, there's kind of like what we call a wild card weekend. So if you are in seed 4, or like if you're in the standings within your division, if you're in like 4th or 5th place, you do have like a little last match to play to ensure who the 4th seed will be in that division, because the top 4, meaning the top 8 in the whole league, go to the playoffs and play a bracket. It's a single elim bracket, and from there we decide who the champion is. If you finish bottom 2, so at the very bottom right there, it says at the end of the season, the bottom 4 teams will be relegated. So that means throughout the entire season, the entirety of the season, out of the 16 teams, if you finish bottom 4 in the whole standings, you get relegated. So what does that mean? So this is why Liusin's here, because his team is going to be playing in the qualifiers, which is the next slide. So the qualifiers has a similar system but different. It's essentially open qualifiers for teams that are not in the league, so who are not the 16 set teams in the league. They have a chance to go through separate events, to play brackets, to score enough points to make it into the league. So for the bottom 4 teams that get relegated, those top 4 teams in the qualifiers, take over their position. So the biggest comparison is, if anybody here that watches soccer, I might be explaining this like totally off limits, but the best example of this is if you watch soccer, so specifically the Barclays Premier League, I'm just going to reference that. I mean, every soccer league works the same way, but you have the Premier League, in which you have like Liverpool and all the big teams, and then you have, I forgot what they call the secondary league. I think it's like their B league or whatever. But it's their sub league under
Championship League.
Yeah, the Championship League. So like that's their B league. So essentially the bottom 4. I think in soccer it's the same way. It's the bottom 4 teams in the standing that finish in the entire season get relegated down. So like Sunderland is a great example of a team in the soccer league that has been relegated. That's played in the Premier League. So essentially the same way it works here. This is how we kind of cycle the teams in and out of the league, so that way we balance the competitive integrity of the league. So that way, like, teams have the opportunity to fight for their place here, and fight for their slot, fight to be in the league. So like we want to make sure that we always are cycling the skill gap, and always like giving opportunity for other teams to come in. That's the only way you can come into the league, or if you purchased a team slot. So, for example, at the end of last season, we had a lot of teams that, 1, have exited the league, or 2, have completely exited the Call of Duty scene, and they sold their slots. And a team that actually purchased slots was 0 to 1. They're a team in this league. I'm not sure if he's here right now, but there was a team that bought it through Rated, which used to be a team here, and they actually exited the COD scene, and they bought the slot. So you can sell your slot, not anymore, because the league's already, we already made up the teams, and I'll explain a little further when we get down to the presentation how it will work until the moment you pay. But at the end of the season, if you don't finish bottom 4, you still have a slot here. And if your ambition down the road is to sell your slot, absolutely, you can sell your slot. There is a deadline you have to meet, because if you don't meet it, the league takes over your slot, because we have to still continue the league. We can't wait for you forever to sell your slot. So that's how it works. That's how you can only get into this league. Or if you were just given a lottery, which is essentially we DM'd you on Twitter, and we were looking for a league, for teams, like we just did last week, because teams couldn't sell their slots. That's how you get into the league. But other than that, this is how it will work throughout the season. I wish the teams that are here the best of luck, and obviously give us a good showcase. We'll give you a good stream. We'll air you on the stream as well to make sure that we can give you some playtime. Any questions so far before I move on? Because I know there was a lot of freaking information.
What times will the matches be scheduled?
I'm going to show you in the one of the slides coming up. It's probably not going to be a slide, but it's going to be the Excel sheet. It's actually in the handbook already right now too. If you click on the handbook link, you'll actually see the full schedule. But I'll show you guys that here in a bit.
So, my fault.
Go ahead.
So you said, okay, so bottom 4 will be relegated. I remember you saying that. So that means and then you said it's the bottom 2 from each conference. So the bottom 2 from A and B, those are the guys that end up losing their league slot or whatever.
Yes.
And then the top 2, or I guess the other bottom 2 from each conference, they just kind of get to chill. Then that's kind of it.
Yes, they still stay in.
Cool.
You survived essentially.
Gotcha.
Yeah. It's not like 4 from one division. So if you finish bottom 2 within your division, then you're fucked. Or sorry, screwed. But what we did last year is we played a bracket between the relegated teams and.
Hey, we got sponsors.
Huh? Okay.
Can't use the F word. We got sponsors.
I know. I'm sorry. I'll blur that out. But anyway, so what we did last year is we had the relegation matches. We will not have that because it was a mess. And secondly, if you lose, you lose. I'm not going to have you play in a bracket because it's pointless. You already lost in the season, so it's kind of pointless to have you play in the bracket. I know some people are against that, but that's just how we're going to do it this season, just to save time and money. Yeah, I was referring to you. But anyway,
I know.
Any questions on this slide before I move on to the next one? There's a continued version of the slide. Okay. The times, we'll get into it very soon. So, some changes to the league. We had a lot of issues last season towards the end of the league. Not going to get into it. It wasn't the end of the world. It's just, it was that one-off scenario that came into the season where we never thought it would happen. So, league staff members who have teams in the league are no longer permitted to have positions that are directly involved with operations in terms of making game day decisions. So our match officials, or what we call our tournament admins, those are game day decision staff members. So they're referees essentially. So if you're in a team like Hyped Esports, he's a moderator. The owner of Hyped Esports, he's a moderator here in the league. Moderators are not refs, so they don't directly impact the league. This is just so we don't have a conflict of interest issue again, because I know some people were bringing that up, and we listen to our players. Obviously, we take feedback. We want to make sure that we are as fair as we can possibly be. So we introduced 2 new positions to the league, which is, like I said, the tournament administrator. So the tournament administrator is a member of our operations team who facilitate game day decisions and rulings. So that's somebody like myself, Vic, Coach, Nico, who is the league commissioner. So he facilitates game day decisions. These members are responsible for meeting the commissioner's expectations and interpretation of the league's governing rule sets. So that's a very important word, right? Because in sports, we even saw it in Formula One, is the interpretation of the rule sets are very important. The way the rule is written, that is the exact direct interpretation of how it's enforced. It is not interpreted differently. It's not interpreted in a way where somebody could manipulate the rule set. It's not interpreted any other form other than the form of its written possession. So the way you see it in the handbook, that is the way the rule is going to be interpreted. There is no A or B side of the rule. It is that rule set. Tournament moderators, that's a new position too. These members are part of our operations team in which they are responsible for game day organization. So these members are match day supervisors in accordance with the league's expectations and vision of ensuring that all stream matches are professionally handled and mitigated within our game day operations crew. So I just want to explain this really quick because a lot of people get confused in terms of when it comes to moderator and admin, because I know certain leagues use this as a referee-based position. Like if you're a tournament mod, you're a ref essentially. So in this league, the only referee is a tournament admin. If you're a moderator, you're kind of like you're a game day supervisor. So what that means is everybody who runs the broadcast, like in terms of who is doing the production, the two people who are casting, whoever's running our socials, whoever's kind of like in the background doing broadcast prep, the moderators are responsible for making sure that all the material that's gathered for that stream or for that match is there. So like all the assets for the stream and stuff, that's what they're ensuring that is happening. The other thing, the moderators have a very critical function. For the matches that are not streamed, they're making sure that those matches are reported and recorded in certain channels. They're not like refs, but they're going to remind you that, hey, if you're playing a match that's off stream, you need to go post the match. So we had the same rules as challengers, where you go, like if you're on your GB account, you go and report the match. You will do that in a certain channel here in the Discord. As we get to the schedule, I'll tell you guys how it's going to work. Because, again, not every match is streamed, because there's going to be well over 90 matches this season. So we don't have that kind of budget. Any questions? All right, cool. Take that as all you guys understood that. Some big changes. Stream schedules changes. Okay, so last season we had every match streamed. It's too costly and it's a lot of money, so we had to cut it down. All games are still Monday through Thursday, in which we allow rosters that are playing in the leagues or even challengers have the opportunities to play in those events. So like the Challengers Cup all happen on like Sunday and I think Saturday, right? It starts Saturday and then goes into Sunday. I believe it's like that. I haven't been following Challengers at all this year. But
yeah, that's how it is.
So like we play our matches Monday through Thursday. We are considering Monday through Friday, but right now, as it stands in this meeting, it's Monday through Thursday. You actually play twice a week because you play each team twice in your division. You will play twice, so you might have a game on Monday, and then your next game is going to be Wednesday, or you might have a Tuesday game, but your next game is going to be Thursday. So you guys we'll actually tag you and post a schedule in the upcoming matches channel on the server, so you guys know when your matches are. So like, it's not just a handbook that's going to show you the match schedule. We have a whole dedicated channel that's going to show you what slot you're rostered in to play your match. So like your match is expected to start at that time and it has to kick off at that time. We're now partnered with Level Gaming, which is a tournament software that manages all of our logistics in the league. So essentially, for those of you that play GB or who are familiar with game battles, it's essentially the same exact system. It just looks a little different. But we're going to help all of you get registered on it. Every single player is required to go make an account on Level Gaming. We have a slide for that and some videos to show you in this presentation. And also, we're going to help you. So myself, Vic, and a few other people who understand the site a little more, or who will understand the site a little more, we're going to sit down with you to make sure you get your teams registered. We're going to sit down with you to make sure you get your players registered and get them on your roster, because it's a little difficult to navigate around the site if you don't know it. So that's why we're here to help you. So everybody's going to be required to set up an account there, because that's how we track your rosters, and that's how we're going to actually track your stats and stuff, because it actually creates the Excel sheet for us and everything. So our free agency periods are now every weekend. Before Monday. So last season, for the teams that were here, you either played through 3 to 4 weeks of games, and then there was like a break in between for a whole week, and then that's where you can do roster changes. So we made it a little more lenient now. So like I said, every match is Monday through Thursday if we don't do Fridays. So as soon as that Thursday match is done, the roster period opens Friday through Sunday. And as soon as the clock strikes midnight on Monday, that is when we close the roster period. So you'll actually see that on the website. That's where you're allowed to make roster changes. So like if it's a Monday and you're trying to change your roster, you won't be able to because the site locks it automatically. So you can't even add a player to your roster. They'll become uneligible, just like on game battles. They'll show your eligibility, whether you can play or not. The site will do the same thing. Yeah. But anyway, so this is where you're allowed to manage your team profile. You're allowed to manage your rosters during the free agency periods that we have. So every weekend essentially is a free agency period, if you want to think about it that way. This is where you're going to report your matches along with the. We'll report it for you because it's a little confusing on the website, but you'll report it on Discord for us. This is where you're actually allowed to create support tickets. So, like, if you're disputing a match that wasn't streamed and you need to dispute it, the ticket system is actually through the website as well. Just like you would submit a ticket through GB. It's the same freaking thing. It's very simple, too. Okay, so this is how the Level Gaming website looks like. If everybody goes to level.gg, you don't have to do it right now. All team management should be on there, including your coaches, whoever the owner, the manager, the org is. You all must be a part of the Discord, and you must be registered on the site, and the site must reflect your roster if you want to have them play. So the biggest importance here is after this meeting is done, I would go there and create your account. If you're not doing it right now, you can. And you have to go to your email and confirm your email, or else it won't register you. All your players need to do the same thing. For right now, if all of you can, the fastest that you guys can do this, the better it is for us to fly through this. After this meeting, I would tell all your players to go to level.gg and create an account. Their account must be exactly how their Activision reflects, by the way. There will be a field where they will add their Activision, but I would sign up as whatever your Activision is. I will tell your players the same thing. Because that way it just makes things easier to track. That way the league doesn't have to dispute with you in terms of who the hell is that player, and then you have somebody with a whole different Activision name. That's where you'll end up having some trouble during the season. So does everybody understand that? Like, you got to go create an account on this website. It's not optional. It's a requirement. No questions? Alright, cool. So again, for those of you that are watching, you have to go to www.level.gg and create your account. Make sure that the username is like your Activision. You don't need the hashtag for the username. When you enter the Activision field, once you see it, that's where you'll actually enter your full Activision ID. But everybody needs to be on this website. Alright, so this is like a quick video. It's going to be like stupid, but this is how to register your team for a division, but I will do this with you guys. So this is like showing that you'll go in there. We actually have the same button. It says register now. You'll put your team name in. You can actually tag your team, and then you can just click submit, and I'll see it on my end and I'll accept it. Do not register your team. I'm going to sit with every team individually, and I'm going to have you register, because I need to have you register for the correct division, or it's not going to work. So all I need you guys to do right now is just register for the website. I will be getting with each team owner or a coach or whatever, and I'm going to sit with you and register your team for the correct division. The next thing shows us how to add members to your roster. It's kind of pointless for me to show you this right now because we need to register your team first. So once we register your team, I'll go over this with you to make sure that you know how to edit your roster, how to add people to your roster, so that way it reflects correct. Oh shit, I didn't mean to play that. For those of you that are playing in the qualifiers, alright, so all the league stuff is kind of out of the way for a second. We're going to revisit some of the league stuff, but I need to explain how the qualifiers work. So the qualifiers are what we consider our invitational spread events across the season. For those teams looking to compete in the following season that will come up, each team plays 5 separate events that accumulate points for placement. Each team has the opportunity to register for each event. At the end of the qualifiers, after all 5 events, the top 4 teams will be promoted to the league. So essentially the bottom 2 from each division that get relegated out, those top 4 will be placed in those slots from the qualifiers. Qualifiers are quick events. They're double elimination brackets. They do have prize pools in each event, and it's about $20. League teams cannot play in the qualifiers. So a lot of people asked me that last season, and it's still the same thing. League teams cannot play in the qualifiers. How the qualifiers breakdown works, so there is a prize pool system and a placement point system. So this is kind of like a graph to show you what the prize pool looks like. I've probably never had more than 20 teams registered, so it's not like we get to the 65 teams, but if we ever did, this is how it would look like. And then you have placement points just like the pro ladders do. First gets 100, second 80, and so on and so on and so on. This is like a little video. I don't even think the sound will come out. Kind of shows you the qualifiers.
He's gonna just hold where he's at. Scarier than actually moving forward. He plays the patience game and gets the double. Oh, awesome! 3 in the name, 3 in the game.
16 seconds left on this hard point. They only need 9.
Cornmeal and 50.
Does one up, takes one down. Oh no, that's he's in it too. Oh no, this man is on a
Hey, that was me.
streak. And that's behind
Yeah, it was you.
taking map number 1.
That was dope. Anyway, that's the qualifiers. Oh my god, stop. I don't want to hear Shifty's voice again.
What a shame that I'm already in here then.
Oh geez, you're actually in here.
Yeah,
Oh,
what did you think?
lives.
Where did you think the hey that's me came from? Do
I
you think
thought
that
that
was
was
part of the
cool.
video, boss?
I thought that was cool. What's up, dude? Haven't seen you in a while.
Happy to be here. Keep going. This is great. I love seeing you speak in public. Giving me chills,
I
bro.
mean, I took public speaking, but I'm
Sheesh, it's
Shiver me whiskers.
and off.
shivering me whiskers, bro.
Bussin'.
Alright, so I'm going to show you guys actually the league schedule first before we go over the boring stuff, because I'm assuming you guys want to know what division you're in, and I'm assuming you guys want to understand how it works. So I'm going to reference this very quickly. It looks super small. Holy crap. Okay. Everybody ignored the seating stuff because it is fucked up. Like, I mean, oh my god, it is screwed up. So, like, these are actually correct, but as you get down to, like, week 6, the order looks wrong. So, I just want to show you guys something. And the schedule populates automatically. Once everybody's registered on that Level GG website, it actually populates the schedule for you guys. So, either you play an 8:30 match, or you play a 9:30 match. So the way this is going to work, okay, because this looks mad confusing for whoever's looking at it first-handed, is, like I said, every game is Monday through Thursday, which is right here, okay? You actually have 2 matches that happen at the same time, and then you have 2 more matches that happen at the same time on the same day. So there is 4 matches played in one day, okay? So, like, for example, everything that says live, that's actually when we are streaming. So if you are playing an 8:30 match, so seeds 1 and 8, we will be streaming you first for the Alpha division. So red is Alpha, blue is Bravo. As you can see right here, this is the Alpha division. So Primal is seed 1. They will be playing Team Mist. That's the season opener right there. They'll be playing. Now, if this match finishes early and the secondary match is still going on, we will switch the stream over to this match. Or if this match is already done and whoever's playing the 9:30 slot, we might switch and flip the stream over to their match to see what's going on with the 3 vs 6, which would be Final Strike versus 0 to 1. So that's just how everything is going to go, you know. Every day, it's going to be the same thing. So, essentially, if you're looking at the schedule, all of Alpha plays on Monday, and then all of Bravo plays Tuesday, and then all of Alpha plays Wednesday again, and then all of Bravo plays Thursday again. And that, it's week 1. And then week 2, it's reversed. All of Bravo, all of Alpha, all of Bravo, all of Alpha, and then it's reversed. And then you guys get the point. Any questions about the schedule, the way you're looking at it right now?
So from
Yeah,
a
looks good.
broadcaster's perspective, so is it going to be sort of like we fly by the seat of our pants and go into what matches we want? I know guaranteed that you have the certain live sections on the matches that you plan on streaming, but is everything else going to be sort of like a feel it out thing?
Yeah, for
Or-
the first week it will, because this is like something new that we're trying. Like I said, we can't stream every game, so most of the time we might catch so depending on the skill gap of the teams that are playing in each match, we might only catch like that last match of the day, because if two teams start at the same time, it'd probably be a little impossible to capture that second match that's being played under the 8:30 slot.
Right, but so I guess what I'm asking is, are you expecting... So what is the expectation? Are you only expecting one match to be streamed per night, or are you expecting two?
We want to go for two, because that way it gives more showcase in one stream instead of like ending the stream and starting a new one. That is like our goal as a broadcast team, but like the goal is to at least stream one match.
Okay.
Is
Makes
essentially sense. If that makes any sense, or if that's
Yeah.
I don't know if that answered your question.
It did. Because the way you said, oh well, if it runs out early, then we can go to the 9:30 match. If not, then we'll run that match out. I didn't know if that meant like we're gonna try and shoot for both matches every time,
okay,
or
yeah,
if it's gonna be sort of like a situational thing, or
It's more, I guess, it's a situational thing based on
Okay.
how long the duration of the matches will last. Because you might have a team that will go to a map 5, and
right. Well, I mean, and the match goes an hour and a half, so that makes total sense. I was just checking.
Right. No, cool. I appreciate it. So yeah, that's the schedule, guys. This is actually the official schedule right here, which is what you'll see on the Level Gaming website. I just made this to kind of show you guys what the Level Gaming site's going to do. But this is so you guys can get a feel. Like, you guys play each other twice. So essentially 2 rounds happen in 1 week. And then you have the B group down here as well. That will also have their matches. I can give you guys a link to this, but I'd rather have everybody register on Level Gaming, so that way we can pretty much have everything populate the way it did on Challenge. Any questions about the schedule? These are your divisions, by the way, so I'm just going to go over them very briefly because this is being recorded. So we'll start with the Alpha Division. So these are seeded based on when you come in to the first match. So this is what was a huge confusion last season, because I don't want you guys to be confused. So the first match...
This is what the whole selection show is for.
Say it again?
I thought this was what the
Yeah,
whole
but
selection
nobody
show
ever
was
got back to me, so...
Gotcha. Okay.
Because everybody's so slow. So I had to do this for the presentation. That's why I wanted to do the show before. But we can make content on it if you want, but I could talk to you about that later. But anyway, so I want you guys to take this for a grain of salt. So the way you see the seedings right here, this is for the first match, the first week of the season. So when we do vetoes, which we'll introduce to you when we get closer to when the CDL announces their freaking third game mode, which everybody already has seen that they added a game mode in the CDL settings, but they haven't officially posted it in their competitive settings. For all I know, it's probably not going to be control, but it looks like it's control. But anyway, that's not the topic we're discussing. The topic we're discussing is when we do vetoes, the higher seed is based on your standing. So because the season has to start away, we seeded you for the first matches. So this is the seeding for the first matches, and then let's say you won your first match. Essentially, when you go into your next match, you're the higher seed, or you're the lower seed. So as the season progresses and your win-loss record changes, it will determine your seeding when you do your vetoes. All vetoes are going to be done with either an admin or a moderator, because, again, moderators are in charge of organizing all the game day stuff, or the admins can be there and foreshadow it. Most of the time, both of them are going to be in the veto chat with you. So that way you guys can veto your maps and your modes and whoever's hosting, because we are not providing you hosts anymore. We will do exactly what the challengers do. So the same challengers veto system you guys are used to is the same veto system we have for the league. So that way we're not making up a veto process that theoretically doesn't exist, because everybody follows the challengers veto system. So we will be following the challengers veto system. But we will guide you and make sure that you guys understand everything. We'll give you guys information when we do the veto. But this is your division right now. So Alpha has Primal Esports, 0 Point Esports, Team Final Strike, Stole Your Glory, Hyped Esports, 0 to 1, CTC Gold, Team Mist. Your Bravo division is Natural Talent, Monolithic Gaming, UGK Esports, Team Veer, Vanguard Gaming, Millennium 7, Team KGK, and Outlast. That is your divisions for the season. I honestly believe they're very well balanced. I just think for the time being, Division 1 will have a very rough start. Division Bravo will have a very rough start because of the teams that are in the division in terms of the matchups. But it'll be very interesting to see, because all that matters is you getting a win at the end of the day so you can make it to the playoffs. So other than that, like I said, to recap the schedule, it's 2 matches played at the same time, and then there's like a later slot that's played. And we will stream it. We will try to stream 2 matches at least, but the goal is to at least stream 1 match. And we will be streaming Monday through Thursday. We'll be streaming at least one of the matches every day, essentially, or if we can pick up the second game, we'll stream it in that as well. If that makes any sense. That's like to kind of answer Shifty's question around it. But that is the goal with the whole broadcast perspective for the season. As you can see, the weekends are all free agency weekends. That's where you can alter your roster. We do have exceptions in terms of, like, let's say something happens to your roster when it's not on the weekend. There is a fee you can pay the league to pretty much purchase a pass to pick up players for your roster. But like I said, it is a fee that you pay for an exception that we make, because you have to kind of be within the boundaries of the rule book. Not kind of, you have to be in the boundaries of the rule books and the regulations. So to be fair to the other teams, we do have a pass that you can purchase if it's not on a Sunday or a Saturday that you're making roster changes, but it's like something that you have to get league approval for. It is a question that is always asked every season, so I just want to make sure I answer that for you guys. Roster sizes, by the way, a lot of people ask. That's why I kind of wanted to go over the handbook and how things work. But any questions, again, final questions about the schedule? If you're typing to me, I'm not reading, most likely. And again, we're going to sit with you guys, make sure that you guys understand, especially the new teams that are here. We want to make sure you guys understand, like, our way of doing things, because this is a lot of information to grasp, and I wouldn't blame you guys, especially when your orgs are playing in multiple leagues. I want to make sure that you guys understand this league. One of the biggest things, it's not in the rulebook, but I'm going to be putting it in there once we put our veto process in there. But there is no league sharking. Does anybody not understand the term league sharking? You guys know what league sharking?
Yeah, I'm an idiot. Please explain it to me.
Okay, so league sharking essentially is if you're in this league and you're in a ton of other leagues, and let's say your match is scheduled to be played on a Tuesday at 9:30, but you're trying to play in another league, and in between the intermissions, like in between the rounds, you're trying to play in another league. That is league sharking. We do not allow that. Like, your matches here are pre-scheduled. You should be giving preference to your match here, because if you're being broadcasted, I'm telling you right now, if you're league sharking and you're what do you call it? It's not trolling. What is it called when you, like, hold up the whole lobby?
Torching.
Yeah, if you're torching the whole lobby because you're playing in another league, I'm going to disqualify you right off the bat. Do not league shark us. If you sign up for this league, I know other leagues give you the options to schedule your matches around their time frame. You will not League Shark here. And that's something that comes from Nico as the commissioner. This is the message he wanted me to relay to you guys. Other leagues allow you to schedule your matches, so schedule it around times that you will not be scheduled to play here. Do not schedule it on the same day, because I will tell you this now, it will go bad for you if you're trying to play in 2 leagues at the same time. That is what League Sharking means. Essentially, this came from Nico as the commissioner of the league, not from me, but I agree with him. Don't do that, because it's a waste of time. So yeah, just so you guys keep that in mind. Okay, moving forward. Platforms that are allowed to be played on this is obviously all the PlayStation consoles, Xbox, and PC. We want to make sure that we abide by what the challengers also do as well. Keyboard and mouse, if you're on the PC, is obviously strictly prohibited. If you were in other modded forms of controllers that are not league approved, are also prohibited from the league, which actually explains it right there, like the use of turbo controllers or other replicates that allow you to have an advantage definitely are not approved. If you are caught cheating, if you're caught using this, you will be strictly removed from the league. No questions or buts. I will say this now, and we will be as fair as we can be. We had players last season that had to get hand cammed, and we had to hand cam them for 5 games to make sure that they're not cheating. They were accused of cheating, or there was an allegation or a match ticket dispute that was brought to the league. We do thoroughly investigate them, and we do thoroughly try to do the best we can, because PC is a very tough platform to be on for Call of Duty, and personally to me it's brought so many challenges to the whole Call of Duty scene is the fact that they brought it to the PC, because a lot of people cheat and a lot of people have an advantage and whatnot. There's a lot of counter arguments back and forth. It is not your decision as a team to say that somebody's cheating to ban them. That is the league's decision, and the final decision will be determined by the league. If we do request your players to be hand cammed, they have to hand cam. It is not an option. If we have enough evidence so the way it works is we will go up to the team manager, the owner of the team, and we'll say, hey, we had an allegation. This is the footage that we received. We are requesting that this player gets hand cammed, or whatever the case is, for 3 matches. It's not optional. It's a league request. They have to do it. And we'll just observe it for 3 matches or however the amount of matches are. And after that, we'll just drop it. We'll report to the other team that, disputed and say they weren't cheating. This is just their play style. Essentially, that's how the league handles that in terms of how we go about investigations. Any questions so far? All right, cool. So real quick, when you look at this handbook, which is in the important links section, everything that is in red, that pretty much tells you what's the most important thing in the league. Everything in the handbook is important, but if you don't want to read through everything, we kind of gave you a cheat sheet. So everything that's in red is like what's required and what's important for you to read. So obviously we talk about resets and disconnections, in the form of lag that happens because this is an online tournament. You must submit video proof, obviously, where the lag occurred or, whatever happened during the game. The proof must be provided. Leaving the game prematurely will obviously give you a map forfeit or, whatever the admin decides, because they get final rulings on the game. The video proof you can put on Twitter. You can link the Twitter video to us just like you would do for GBs. Or you can take the footage on it if you're like on an Xbox or a console, or if your PC is strong enough, you can record it locally and just send it to us. We'll take it in any form. But you must submit a video proof of it. You can't just say, I was lagging and have a reset. It's not how it works. Disconnections. If a player disconnects within the first 30 seconds or before the first kill of the game should be ended. All players must leave the game and reset the game. If the player disconnects after the first 30 seconds or the first kill, the game, oh my god, the game must be continued. The disconnected player should rejoin the game because they should be able to. If the team with a disconnected player leaves the lobby, their team may forfeit the game or the map in question. So if you're playing an S&D and one of your players dropped, they couldn't get in there, and if the team wanted to, they can forfeit that map. That's what this rule talks about. The administration reserves the right to make any final decisions when it comes to disconnections or any other situations. Altering game bugs kind of goes over, flaws, failures, errors to produce an incorrect, unexpected, or unintended result during gameplay. For the purpose of this procedure regarding the occurrence of bugs during live gameplay and the discretion of the league administration, bugs are separated into two categories. So we have two categories, just like the Challengers does. There's a minor bug and a major bug. Obviously, we'll give you the protocol and the instructions when it comes to that. Game resets, in case of any issues, technical or otherwise, that may alter the outcome of the game as determined by the administration. The game will be resetted based on the game mode and type. So it actually gives you some breakdowns here. So for round-based game modes, the game will be resetted with the round score of the game before the incident. Respawn game modes, the game will be resetted from the beginning with no advantage given to either team. Ties, in case of tie on any game mode, the game will be replayed before moving on to the next game in the match or the series, essentially. Win conditions, the final score on the scoreboard of each round will be primarily determining the factor in which teams win or lose. For the avoidance of doubtful, the scoreboard will take precedence over any in-game victory, defeat, or draw messages in determining the winner of each round. Here's a note too. Teams will not play short 2 players. We will only permit 4v4s or 3v4s. If if a player disconnected and you're playing a 3v4, that's fine. But if you're playing a 2v4, it's kind of pointless. I would just forfeit the series. It makes no sense to go into a game and play 2v4. This kind of gives you the breakdown of what we consider teams. There's a manager, a coach, a team captain, players and substitutions, which are your primary 4 starting players, and whoever's sitting on your bench. So for those of you that are new to the league, the team consists of 4 starting players, which can include the captain of the team, and then you can have up to 4 players on the bench. So like I said, because your matches are pre-scheduled and there's a roster period, anybody that you want playing for your org in the league, I would just put them all on your roster on the website because those meet your eligibility requirements. So what I'm saying is, if you only come in this league and you have 4 players and you're pre-scheduled to play on a Wednesday night at 9:30 and 4 of your players can't show up, guess what? You're going to take either the forfeit or you can have your backups, which are your eligible substitutions, come in for your starting 4 or whatever the case is. If one of them can't make it, you have somebody that's a sub on the bench. They can come in and play for them. But they have to be eligible and they have to reflect that on the Level Gaming website. Because if they're not, guess what, my friend? You're not playing that match with that player. Because if you come into the match with a player that was not league approved or does not reflect on the website, you will take a forfeit. Do not play games with the admins. Don't play games with the leagues. I'll tell you this right now. If somebody on the team reports that, or even disputes that you had players come in for your team that weren't even listed on your roster on the website, that can lead you to trouble, meaning you can be removed from the league. So don't try to sneak players in, because we do check that. Let me see. Red areas. So the transfer window, we're still just working on some final things on the handbook. Like I said before we did this meeting, some things are not final because, one, the CDL hasn't published their full competitive rule sets. So we just want to make sure that we abide by all of them. and we finalize our handbook, which will probably be finalized by the 15th of January. Hopefully they stop screwing around and they do everything the correct way. One of the important things too, here's the schedule again, by the way, it's in the handbook. Here's the no-shows rules. A lot of people ask us about this, and that's why it's highlighted in red. No-shows. All no-shows must be verified by the administration, which is like me and the admins, or even the mods. The no-show grace period is 15 minutes after the match's original start time. So, for example, if a match is scheduled at 8 p.m. And the no-show time is 8:15, they don't show up, that means they forfeited. Don't wait last minute to come to the lobby to play the match. You need to contact us to let us know that that team didn't show up, or you can submit a ticket if you can't contact anybody, and the outcome of that match will be displayed. Obviously, you'll just go in when you report your result on the Discord channel, you'll just say 3-0 by forfeit, for your team, obviously. So that way it reflects correctly. Obviously, match disputes require match tickets. They're taken to the league administration, and you can actually submit a ticket using the link in the handbook too. We'll check it as well. It is highly recommended that you provide proof of recording of some kind of form, or we might not dispute your proof or your dispute. Essentially, if you're not giving us anything, then it's kind of pointless. You got to give us at least 48 hours. We might not respond right away. We have lives. So, yeah, that's a really important thing. The only individuals that should be reporting matches is either the league personnel, which is like the admin or the moderator or myself, or any team management like the captain, the coach, or the manager. They must be reporting the matches and the results. The map vetoes are not there. But we have part of it here already. This is already taken from the Challengers rulebook. One of the biggest things this season, because some of the matches are played off stream, is our double forfeit rule. This is actually how it's posted in the Challengers rulebook. So if a match is not played and neither team submits the ticket or submits the result of the requesting forfeit or win, we'll consider that both teams forfeited, but per rule, the higher seeded team in the standing gets the win. Is essentially what that rule says. So if at the end of the day the moderator is looking through to update the standings, or like if I'm looking through the results channel to update the standings and I don't find your match, I might come in and request it. If you guys don't get back to me, or none of the teams get back to me, then I'm just going to assume the highest seed won, because by rule, the double forfeit, if both teams didn't show up to play, they didn't win. They didn't play. So the higher seed gets the win. We just have to determine a winner at the end of the day to continue the league forward. That's actually how the rule is exactly posted in the Challengers rulebook as well. Most of these rules that you see here, we copied and pasted out of the Challengers rulebook. Just kind of switched some words around, obviously. But we kind of want to have a system where we abide by how the Challengers is played. Because essentially, for those teams that play in the Challengers, think about the league as your glorified weekly scrims, where your team can come in here and play. Obviously, their match, but they can consider it a scrim, or whatever the case is. And go and play Challengers on the weekend. So we want to make sure we have the same form of system. Just kind of talking about enforcement of the rules, changes, acceptances, our administration, what their authorities are. You're more than welcome to read this. The General's Agreement, we do follow the professional or the pro GAs. We don't follow amateur GAs because they change every goddamn day. But we do follow pro GAs. As of right now, they're not like enforced as a rule set because GAs are not league rule sets. But we do tell every team that they have to abide by GAs. Here's the thing. You're a team in a league, and every amateur league does this, and so do the professionals do this, is they follow GAs. Not following GAs is a lack of competitive integrity, okay? If you lack competitive integrity and people are reporting to me that your team constantly violates GAs, guess what? I'm going to tell your team to go find another league to play in. You should be following rule sets at all times by the league, and we expect competitive integrity from you as a team. We might change this rule as to something that we enforce. Like I said, the handbook is not fully published yet in terms of it's not finalized for the season, but you may see instead of encourages, you may see it will be enforced. But pretty much everybody follows GAs. I don't want to have to sit here and tell you guys that, hey, your team's not following GAs. I have a lot of teams coming to me saying that, you guys don't follow the GAs, like what's going on. I don't want to have that kind of conversation with any org here because I just feel like that's silly. But if it comes down to it, we might just change the wording to where we do enforce GAs, and you might take a penalty later down the season for not following a GA. Any questions so far? Shit, my mouse is broken. In between your matches, you have 3 to 7 minutes to make sure you get things situated. So that doesn't mean abuse it and take 10 minutes of your time. That's like the whole league sharking thing that comes in. Like if you play round 1 and somebody says, "Oh, I gotta go use the bathroom before you start map 2," and then you take 15 minutes, that is torching the lobby at that point, and you will lose that map. People can come and dispute that. Obviously, they have to have proof. Like I said, if you come and dispute that a team took 15 minutes to start a map, obviously you want to have some kind of proof for it. I would screenshot the moment that you are in the lobby to the moment where they started torching you and, screenshot the time if it still shows that you're in the lobby and you're trying to communicate to start the match. Obviously, you guys should know how to handle this. If you play GBs and if you play other leagues, they have the same expectations in terms of don't torch in between the maps. The same goes here. If you're being streamed, we pretty much have the casters talking in between the intermissions, and we'll ask you both when you guys are ready. Essentially, when it's streamed, you guys join a group chat where we communicate with everybody to make sure that the stream runs, very well in terms of making sure that we hit correct points of the game and of the match day to make sure that everything's facilitated correctly. But other than that, those are like the most important rules in the handbook. Let me see. We do have our qualifiers rulebook actually right here linked as well. But we'll be posting it once we finalize that one as well. But other than that, biggest thing that's going to change here is probably this whole veto system, because we'll be following the challengers veto system. We actually had our own veto system last season since we provided hosts. And then this might change as well to where it's actually enforced instead of not enforced. But other than that, does anybody have any questions? There was a lot of information that we went over. So does everybody understand the rule sets?
No, can you read it to me again?
That's fine. You can watch the video.
I'm recording it. What do you mean?
I know. But
Yeah, I'm all good.
Does that make any sense to anybody? Was anybody confused the way I worded something? Everybody good with that? Jiggy?
Yeah, I'm
not in here, bro.
You good? Oh.
Is there gonna be is there like a link that we can click on this and like go read it later if we need to?
Yeah, it's actually in the Discord. So if you guys go to league stats and info, The first channel that says League Important Links, it's
Yeah.
it's the fourth link. It's got
Gotcha.
the black K7 logo. That will take you directly to this Google Doc that I just shared over stream with you guys.
Okay. Because my players are really dumb, so I'm gonna have to sit there and show them this.
Who said that?
Jiggy.
Oh, I don't think they're dumb. I mean, it's
I do.
It's it's a lot of things to go over, obviously, but that's why we wanted to do this, so we can kind of talk as a group. I was hoping more people showed up, but I guess a lot of people want to watch the video. But
You're gonna hear me calling them dumb in the video too. You're gonna get...
But yeah, I'm not blurring anything out other than my swears probably. But other than that, that will conclude the town hall. Like I said, a lot of you have been sitting here for an hour, and I really appreciate your time and your concern about coming in. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to one of us. Like I said at the beginning, we will be sitting with you guys to make sure that we sign you up correctly on the level site, so that way you guys can start managing your rosters. So that way you guys can get familiar with the website and make sure that you add all your players to your roster. Because like I said, if you don't and they're not reflecting properly, then they won't be playing for your team. Like, you can play them, but if they're not eligible to be played, and we find that out or somebody disputes it, then you guys can potentially lose the series. So it's important that you guys understand the website and understand how to use it, because that's the biggest change for this season, is we're doing all of the logistics and management through that website. Now, for some reason, and I have to say this because, you know, trying new things out can also become a disaster. And like I said, I'm a person that's very fair when it comes to things. I want to make sure that I treat everything fairly. If it's becoming an issue, okay, that's why I'm doing the town hall right now, so we can all try it out. If it's becoming an issue, like the whole website and everything, I might just tell you guys, screw it. I'll have a Google Doc where you guys will report your rosters. And it's like a form that you'll fill out. And then I'll just track your rosters via Discord channel. But, you know, it just makes it easier to facilitate things if we try to use a new system where you guys can just go and make the changes yourself and not wait for the league to do things for you. Because it just puts everything on autopilot, especially when we're running a really crazy busy season. But other than that, everybody understand that these are pre-scheduled, right? This is not like you pick a time and we'll go there. These are pre-scheduled. You are expected to play. Like, if you are scheduled to play at 8:30, if that match has not started by 8:45, there is a problem. Do not be the last-minute person that joins lobbies last minute. Don't scrim 10 minutes before your match time. That's happened before, and it's led to people to have map 1 forfeits. Don't torch the lobby. That's all I ask of people. I'll tell you, the season will run a lot smoother if people just listen and follow to directions. If you can scrim, you're more than welcome to scrim before your match, but don't do it 10 minutes before your match, because it's never going to end before your match. But other than that, appreciate all you coming down. No questions, right?
I just want to add a few things, if that's all right.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Actually, yeah. I mean, if some people need to go, you guys can go. You don't have to stay here. Like I said, we're recording this. But if you want to stay, you're more than welcome to stay. But, Hyper, yes, you needed to add something?
Yeah, just to go off of the hand cam situation, because I know some people watch this and be like, oh, well, they didn't say anything about monitor camming. Monitor camming can be a thing, too. So just because we didn't mention it doesn't mean that we won't enforce you to monitor cam if, you know, accusations are occurred. So just to let that be aware that that can be a thing. So it's not just hand cams, it will be monitor cams as well. And then, Tim, I had a second thing, but I just forgot it. But once I
thanks for
remember,
adding
I'll
that.
come
That
back.
was really good. Aside of you saying that, A lot of people do ask, if you are on a PC, do you have to stream? So as of right now, it is not a requirement for players that play PC to stream. I know a lot of leagues require that players that are on PC to stream. The only reason why I don't require it is because some players in this league don't have the best PC, and if they run everything all at once, they get scanned and repaired, and then it becomes a whole fiasco where, oh, I got to scan and repair, we need to reset the lobby, and then it becomes a dispute. So as of right now, that's not a requirement, but like I said, and like Hyper said, that can change before the season starts. Like if you're on a PC, you are definitely going to be streaming. I'm not saying that that's the rule right now, but it can change to that.
And I just remember the other thing that I was gonna say.
Yeah. Go ahead.
To go off of the league sharking as well. We've had teams before where they just to get the game over with, they forfeit a map like an S&D. That's not going to be a thing either. So you need to, if you're there, you need to play through your game. You're not just going to try to hurry and only play like hard points just to get past and go to your next league. So just to keep that in mind too, that won't be a thing as well, because that also goes off of league sharking. So just to keep that in mind, there's no forfeiting certain maps just to get through the match quicker.
Yeah. And vetoes are due by a certain time too. So because we give you guys the option to veto before your match, if it's not done by a certain time, we will give you a preset. We do have like a few preset variants already, but I'm just saying, like, we want to give you guys the option to veto what you want to play as maps. And that's why we have the mods and the admins who are constantly going to be bugging you about making sure that the vetoes are done. But if it's not done, I'm telling you this right now, and I'll put it in the rulebook too, it's going to be a preset matchup, essentially. But, is Vic here? No, he left. Coach, you got anything to add since you're one of the admins? Alright, probably nothing. Carrie, you got something to add since you're one of the mods?
Nah, it's good.
Did you grab the... I'm good, by the way.
Alright, thank you, Coach. Alright, guys, well, I appreciate all you coming down. Felty, thank you, and Jiggy, thank you for sticking through the whole thing, man. I know it's a lot of information. Jamesy, I saw you join at some point. Sticky, I see you're in here. But like I said, it's all been recorded, and we'll post it. Again, we'll be helping you guys as we get towards the season to make sure that things run smoothly.
All right.
But thank you guys.